The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
And we begin with late breaking news. 2 fatal shootings already this Monday. Now another police call. San Antonio police on the scene of yet another shooting. Officers responding to this location, the 6700 block of South Flores, a little before 5 o'clock. According to police, a man at a car wash approached by someone with a gun. That man in his 50s put up a fight. The suspect shot the victim several times in the chest, then took off with the man's vehicle. He was taken to a hospital in critical condition. So far, no arrests.
Texas lawmakers about to remove one of the state's last gun restrictions, approving a bill that would allow people to carry handguns without a license or the background checks and training that go along with that. The Republican legislature approved it today, and Governor Greg Abbott has said that he will sign it despite objections from law enforcement groups that say it will endanger the public and police. A mother shot and killed in front of her own children. People living at the Belden apartment complex on the city's northeast side shocked and saddened after learning that's what happened there today.
The San Antonio police say the victim loading up her kids for school this morning before she was shot. Tiffany Huertas spoke to a neighbor who says she came outside of her apartment to help after hearing the gunshots.
When I heard the gunshots, I knew it was too close.
Michelle Radcliffe lives at the MC Belden apartment complex on the 7500 block of Harlow Drive. After hearing the gunshots, Radcliffe says she went outside and only saw her neighbor's children.
The 6-year-old was on my left, the 10-year-old was facing me, and the 2-year-old was in the car seat.
She later discovered the children's mother was fatally shot.
She's my friend.
San Antonio police say a 28-year-old woman was loading her 3 children up for school this morning when she was shot in her car.
What we have here this morning is an absolute tragedy.
Chief McManus says the alleged shooter was found at a nearby home. He was taken into custody and questioned. McManus says the man is the estranged husband of the victim. The chief says the accused shooter was arrested on multiple occasions starting in October 2018.
He violated a protective order, and he is out on bond. Well, is out on bond right now for violation of that protective order. And look what happened. Here we are this morning.
The chief condemned the policies in place that left the alleged shooter out on bond and the woman unprotected. We
tell victims that we can protect them, that they need to come forward and report family violence, and here we are with another family violence murder.
McManus says something needs to be done.
There has to be a concerted effort across the board, not just by the police, but across the board.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Meantime, another deadly shooting, this happening on the city's east side. Police are still working to figure out who is responsible for shooting and killing a 24-year-old man in the middle of the day. This was the scene at the Antioch Village apartment complex around noon today. When police got there, they found the 24-year-old with a critical injury. They transported him to a hospital where he later died. Investigators still working to figure out how and why this happened.
Preliminary information indicates that there was some type of disturbance between the victim and another male right outside the apartment in the balcony area. That disturbance led to the suspect shooting the victim.
Police added this appears to be an isolated incident, and even though the suspect has not yet been caught, officers do not believe there is an immediate danger to the public.
Are your energy bills about to go up? The CPS Energy Board talked about the possibility of rate hikes this morning during its regular board meeting, but no rate increase was announced or approved. Right before that board meeting, I talked with the head of CPS, Paula Gold-Williams. $1 billion in energy supply bills from the winter storm outages, more than $100 million in delinquent customer accounts are part of what she's dealing with. But according to our Fairfax KSAT San Antonio report poll, CPS also dealing with a steep decline in its approval ratings from 77% in April of last year to 46% 2 months ago.
I'm always concerned about what our customers think. And we think that that is a great survey, and it gives us a lot of context of which we're going to utilize to keep fighting one exchange at a time, winning back the confidence of the community.
Tonight on the Night Beat, more from my interview with Gold-Williams, including whether she made a mistake in the middle of the power outages by allegedly worrying about her PR instead of those power outages. Her reaction to the memos our defenders uncovered tonight at 10.
Two familiar last names on the ballot in the race for City Council District 3. Southside voters will be deciding between Phyllis Villagran, the sister of the current District 3 councilwoman, and Tomas Uresti, a former state rep and school board trustee for Harlandale ISD. Garrett Berger talked with both about what they plan for the district if elected.
I need to call people too. Okay.
Phyllis Villagran had never really planned on running for office.
But leave it on the calendar.
But she says her sister Rebecca's achievements and the commitment of her and the other 5 women currently on city council inspired her.
I thought I could be there and I can help.
Villagran says she has a similar work ethic to her sister, but different life experience. She's had several jobs as an elementary school teacher, civilian employee at SAPD, working at Visit San Antonio, and most recently, teaching seniors how to use new technology through Senior Planet. Her top issues include fully funding senior services, getting a public safety substation in the district, infrastructure, including broadband, and getting people back to work.
So this Ready to Work SA plan needs to be ready to go, and we need to make sure that we're meeting with the residents and understanding what sort of services they need to get back to work.
They're all over San Antonio. We have about 4 left.
Her opponent, Tomas Uresti, is eager to get back to work as an elected official. He currently runs a coffee shop with his wife, but with experience in state government, a school board, and even the appraisal district, he sees an opportunity to give back as San Antonio comes out of the pandemic.
I figured, well, since we're going to need somebody really strong to be able to get us through this, figured with the experience that I have, I would be the one to be able to do it.
Uresti says he's focused on being accessible to constituents and the resolvement of the pandemic.
So we need to get the children back in our schools. We need to get all businesses back open, hopefully to full capacity, and to be able to get those that want it to be able to get their vaccination at the same time.
Early voting in this race and 4 others began today. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
New at 6, students in Texas about to enter medical school with $10,000 scholarships. The recipients are all minorities and 2 are from right here in San Antonio. They tell Courtney Friedman how diversifying the medical field makes it more likely that minority community members will seek care and follow through with medical instructions.
Victoria Delano is a San Antonian originally from Nigeria, and Amy Beristain is a first-generation Mexican-American from San Antonio's South Side. 2 women with different cultural backgrounds, yet in so many ways, they're the same.
Like many minorities, I experienced a lot of the health disparities, educational disparities, unfortunately, and financial difficulties.
I'm originally from Nigeria, whereby we don't have that good healthcare infrastructure. A lot of people die from common diseases that they shouldn't.
They both just fulfilled dreams of getting into medical school and have received a coveted $10,000 scholarship from the Texas Medical Association Foundation. The Bayardo Scholarship is for minority medical students determined to create change in the field.
Making sure that we award these scholarships to a diverse population of students. And more importantly, that this diverse population is also very much interested in coming back, giving back.
One of the reasons why minorities don't seek medical care is because 1, it's not available to them. 2, it's too costly, or simply because there's not an established trust between a physician and the patient.
When you're a provider, you can relate with your patient from the same background or similar background, there's trust. So you tell them to do something, they follow through.
Both future doctors hope to end up back in San Antonio, Beristain on the South Side, and Delano making time for medical missions to Africa. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Look outside with live cam this evening. Another day with rain on the radar in our area. Some areas seeing a good downpour and also some sunshine today.
A little bit of everything, and it's one of those evenings where it's good rainbow making weather. So if you have them in the showers pass through your neck of the woods, especially Canyon Lake right now, once it passes, put the sun to your back and you may get a nice display out there. 84, that was our high today at the airport in town. We got just under an inch of rain. Take a look at the radar currently, and what we had moving between Gonzales and Shiner and Hallettsville is starting to really fizzle out and come to an end. Right now the focus is this downpour that's heading right for Canyon Lake. It's actually already starting to clip part of the lake itself, especially closer to the dam. This is going to continue its progress over the lake here momentarily, and those communities, of course, getting another soaking from that downpour. It's isolated in nature, but it's still out there. It's tropical as well. It feels muggy. And now you can even see the tropical pop-up showers throughout the day. And just west of I-35 south of town, a little bit of activity. But overall, we're not looking at a whole lot out there right now. And I do anticipate the rain chances to drop off even more over the coming hours. Temperatures, you can see where with some outflow boundaries and some rain. New Braunfels 77, Randolph Air Force Base at 73. Meanwhile, 78 in Canyon Lake, that's likely to drop off even more. Other locations in the 80s, including Helotes at 86 and 90 right now in Del Rio and Carrizo Springs. But this evening, a few of those lingering showers through about 8, 9 o'clock. Can't rule out an isolated pop-up shower through the night tonight, but mainly I think we'll just have areas of fog and drizzle developing, and that's going to lead to a morning commute that's rather damp with a little bit of road spray, some wet roads, but not necessarily the continuously falling rainfall. Just the fog and drizzle, dampness 72, and then tomorrow afternoon is going to be very similar to today, humid, mid-80s, and we'll have a few showers popping up on the radar screen. We're going to talk about rainfall chances for the rest of the week and into the weekend, along with how much rain has fallen and where, coming right up.
Time now for the first COVID-19 briefing from the city and county of the week, and they are continuing to use some guest appearances to reinforce the effort to get vaccinated.
Yeah, UTSA head football coach Jeff Traylor will be the guest of the mayor and the county judge today. Also expected to talk about them going over 1 million shots so far in the city and county. Let's go live to City Hall.
Rebecca K. Flores, as well as Director of Epidemiology, Rita Espinoza. And tonight we're joined by UTSA head football coach Jeff Traylor, and this is our COVID-19 update for the San Antonio community. I'm going to be brief to start because I want to toss it over to the coach, but I do want to celebrate some good news tonight. We're reporting that our vaccination report shows that we have passed the 1 million mark. So we have over 1 million people in Bexar County that have been vaccinated with at least one dose. A full 1,008,521 individuals have received at least one dose. 784,115 people are fully vaccinated. That equates to 60.6% of Bexar County's population with at least one dose. 47.2% of the population are fully vaccinated. Keep up the good work, San Antonio. And now let me toss it over to Coach Traylor of UTSA to tell us a little bit about his COVID experience and the vaccination process for our young people.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you having me very much. I was one of those people that I thought the whole situation would not affect me. I was larger than life, and then right before the bowl game, I had COVID, right? And then I thought, well, I'd still be fine. And then about 8 days later, I couldn't get out of bed, and it really affected me. And I talked to my leadership council about it today. Conference USA has adopted a policy where if 80% of our kids get vaccinated, no more contact tracing, no more tests, which we were doing that 3 times a week. But some of the battles I come across by young own players is they think they're invincible. And some of their own teammates have gotten sick, and they're all really fired up about getting it. And June 2nd, we're going to make a big push to see how many road runners we can get vaccinated.
And then we begin our push for the Conference USA title. Thanks very much, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Let me toss it over now to Judge Wolf.
Just a couple of remarks, and I'll toss it to Commissioner Clay Flores. I was looking at the data again. I think we're 142 people in the hospital today. And I was looking at the data between the outbreak during the summer and then the outbreak during the winter. And the lowest we got down to was 184 between those two events when we thought things were going to be okay. And that was on October the 2nd. So everything just looks like it's very much in the right direction. But the main thing is we need to keep up the vaccination effort, and that's extremely important. And I'll toss it to the commissioner to bring you up to date on what we're doing.
Hi, I'm County Commissioner Rebecca Clay Flores. To date, Bexar County Hospital System, UHS, has vaccinated a total of 448,289. Last week, we vaccinated 12,886, of which 6,000 were first doses. Judge, I think you want to talk a little bit about the Migrant Center.
I hope you can pull it up on the screen. It was really an emotional meeting this morning when Commissioner Clay Flores and I went out to the Migrant Center that Bexar County had provided and said goodbye to the last 2 boys that were coming through that. We were there for almost 2 months. We had as many as 2,100 young boys, 13 to 17 years old. Extraordinary effort, Catholic Charities, Valero, so many different companies provided support and volunteers out there, and then the wonderful staff that worked so very, very hard to get these boys located with a family member here in the United States. Over 70% have been relocated. The rest will go to other centers that they contract with as they seek to find someone. They're here seeking asylum. They turn themselves in. There's a constitutional provision for people once they're here to seek asylum. Their cases will be heard. Then it will determine whether they can stay in the United States or return. But this is a great humanitarian effort by everybody, and I just want to thank you so much, all the people that supported it.
Great. Thank you, Judge and Commissioner. I do want to make you aware of a great partnership between Metro Health and Six Flags Fiesta Texas. They are giving away 20,000 one-day tickets to people who get their COVID-19 vaccination at any of our Metro Health or partner vaccine clinics. That's the Alamo Dome, UT Health San Antonio, University Health System, University of Incarnate Word, WellMed or Bexar County Health Collaborative and Curative sites. Again, 20,000 one-day tickets to people who get their COVID-19 vaccination starting tomorrow, Tuesday, May 25th, or until tickets run out. 20,000 one-day tickets. So go get your vaccine, and then you can go have some fun at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. If you prefer to book an appointment, you can still do so at covid19.sanantonio.gov or by calling 311. And again, you can get vaccine.
All right, that's the very latest from City Hall. We've topped 1 million first dose of the vaccinations right now. 60.6% of the eligible population in San Antonio and Bexar County, and 784,000 more than that are fully dosed at this moment.
You heard there the mayor talking about some further incentives to get people vaccinated, some Six Flags tickets. That's something we were discussing last week, if we would see more of that in our own community after seeing similar rollouts across the country. The coach, Jeff Traylor there from UTSA, just being there to lend his personal story to his experience with COVID, talking about how he wasn't able to get out of bed once he contracted it. And the city and county have continued. Last week we saw faith leaders, but they have continued to have special guests as part of this presentation to try to hit a note with people that they need to get their shots, and there are plenty of out there to get it this morning.
Yeah, like the county judge said, keep up the vaccination efforts that are out there. All right, let's switch gears and talk to Adam Caskey right now. And, you know, it was spotty, the showers, but some of them were pretty heavy.
They came down pretty hard, especially right through basically central Bexar County from downtown up I-10 toward Fair Oaks Ranch and Bernie. And we had some good accumulations, but it was nice because over the weekend, it was just that tropical rain. We had some sunshine and then heavy downpours, but very minimal lightning and nothing severe associated with it. We still have a few more pop-up showers out there right now, and I think we'll see the same again tomorrow, but rain chances will be falling off later this week. We'll see those rain chances dropping. Here's a look at how much rain fell since Saturday. And you really see the cutoff here. West of I-35, nothing else, especially closer to the Rio Grande, but then you get east of I-35 and between I-10 and I-37, that's where we had some heavy accumulations just since Saturday. I mean, we're talking even Bulverde over an inch, Fair Oaks Ranch over 2.5, Stone Oak about an inch. It depends on where you are in the Stone Oak area. And of course, that goes for pretty much all these accumulations. These are just some of the select rain gauges out there. Gonzales about 2.29 and Kennedy over an inch. Next half hour, we'll take a closer look at that swath right through Bexar County. But we have some downpours out there now. Moving into Guadalupe County, just south of Seguin here. That's coming from Gonzales County. And then we mentioned that one that's clipping Canyon Lake at this hour. That's moving toward Canyon Lake and going to give them another dousing of rain. Tomorrow, 30% chance. By Wednesday, a 20% chance. And then rain chance is pretty minimal thereafter. 82 now, but the dew point's at 70. You feel that big stickiness outside. Very sticky weather, humid, muggy. Dew points for the most part right around that 70-degree mark. They're not going to change much for several more days. Temperatures are all over the place. 79 Rock Springs, but 90 in Del Rio, 75 Gonzales, and New Braunfels at 77. Tomorrow we'll make it into the mid-80s again. In the morning, the fog and drizzle. And then by the afternoon, we'll have some sunshine mixed with a few downpours. Pretty much the same on Wednesday, but the coverage becomes much more limited over the next couple of days, and then predominantly dry thereafter Thursday through the weekend.
There's those 90s.
Yeah, we knew they'd be here sooner or later. All right, are the Dallas Cowboys going to trade for one of the most high-profile receivers in the NFL, Greg.
And how did all this speculation start about Julio Jones coming to the Dallas Cowboys? When we come back, we'll show you what started the fanfire, if you will. Well, there you go. There's a good hint why. And Olympic diver training right here in San Antonio coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Julio Jones is not being traded to the Dallas Cowboys. The Falcons wide receiver made that very clear today. Speculation went rampant when a fan posted a picture of himself with Jones wearing a Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt after Jones had demanded a trade during the offseason. He doubled down on the demand when he told Fox Sports 1's Shannon Sharpe today that he's out of here, meeting with the Falcons, and when pressed on whether or not he would want to play for the Dallas Cowboys, his answer was, "I'm out of there." NFL.com reported that Jones had asked for a trade a few months ago and that the Falcons were listening to offers to try and accommodate him, but the 32-year-old has a contract that guarantees him over $15 million next season. They would have to find a team at this point that has the cap space available since the contract runs through 2023. There are 11 teams with that cap space available, including Jacksonville and New England. Meantime, Dallas Cowboys rookie cornerback Nahshon Wright is clearing the air about his draft night comments when he was picked in the third round by the Cowboys. At the time, he called himself a more athletic and agile Richard Sherman, which prompted a quick response and reaction by Sherman on social media. During the Cowboys rookie minicamp, Wright says he decided to send Sherman a direct message on Instagram to clear the air and explain himself.
I actually reached out to him just because after I said it, I kind of seen what people kind of perceived it as. So I wanted to reach out to him personally and kind of clear it up and just kind of tell him that I actually modeled myself after him and wanted to kind of emulate my game after him.
All right, Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson says he is skipping the all-voluntary team activities and still wants to be traded, even though he's facing as many as 22 civil lawsuits for sexual assault and misconduct. This according to the NFL Network, that says it still remains to be seen when Watson would return to the field as the NFL continues its own investigation that could lead to a suspension. It is for that reason teams are reluctant to speak with the Texans about a trade, not knowing if he will be here to start this season. Of all the free agents the Spurs have this offseason, the one most fans believe will return next year is Patty Mills. Now, that last holdover from the 2014 championship year and a player that has invested in this community. That's according to our poll last night on Instant Replay. DeMar DeRozan and Rudy Gay are the other two big free agents. And DeRozan, more than likely, will be demanding a max deal as an unrestricted free agent. Spurs are in the NBA draft lottery, even though the chances of landing the top pick are less than 2%. But they still have many other young players to build on for next season, including Lonnie Walker IV, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and Drew Eubanks.
Lonnie's guy I came in with bonded a lot with Keldon over these past 2 years. And, you know, we all love to work. We all love to get better. We all love each other. I'm proud of them for the jumps that they've taken this year, and I know they're going to work their ass off this offseason.
All right, with the Tokyo Olympics now 2 months away, Olympic champion Laura Wilkinson is preparing to make her comeback. The Houston native and three-time Olympian struck gold in the 10-meter platform competition in the Sydney Olympics back in 2000, and she's on the comeback trail after coming out of retirement, recovering from neck surgery in 2018. Wilkinson competed at the diving meet right here in San Antonio on Sunday afternoon at Northside Swim Center. She was actually in San Antonio competing on March the 10th of last year, the day before the COVID-19 pandemic shut down everything. How much has changed for her since then?
It's been quite a year. Actually, just got kind of on the upper levels back here again this March because we haven't been able to get into any platforms until this past March here in San Antonio. So, yeah, it's been an interesting full circle. Love this pool, love the people here, and it's just always been a warm, inviting environment. And it's a great meet today with perfect tune-up for trials in a couple of weeks.
All right. Scheduled to begin on June the 6th at the Indiana University Natatorium. Looking forward to that, and good luck to her as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
Our KSAT Q&A with Bexar County DA Joe Gonzalez is up next. It is an unprecedented challenge facing the Bexar County District Attorney's Office, a backlog of more than 50,000 criminal cases because of the pandemic and the halt that put on jury trials over this past year. In today's KSAT Q&A, we are joined by Bexar County DA Joe Gonzalez to talk about how your office is dealing with this challenge. You have sent out a message to victims, crime victims, and their families about the challenge that you all are facing in chipping away at this backlog. Give us kind of an overview of what this looks like right now for your office.
Well, first of all, thank you, Myra, for inviting me
and Steve. It's always a pleasure to visit with you. And yes, we are finally coming back after 14 months of enduring this pandemic. It has been a great challenge to all of us in the criminal justice system, but especially those who fight for victims of crime. And so what we're finding now is we're all anxious to get back to the courtroom. We're all anxious to bring justice to our victims. And we now know we have a date certain. The administrative judge has issued an order saying that we are to begin jury selection on cases starting June 1st. So we're getting ready to do that. We have been working around the clock to ensure that we're ready. But even that will present challenges, and that is that, as you mentioned, we have a backlog. You mentioned 50,000, and we took a second guess. I'm not sure where that number came from, but it's closer to about 35,000. But that's still a huge number of cases that have been bottlenecked during this time. So what we're doing is working with every participant in the system, participant, I should say. The courts themselves, the defense bar, of course, our office, our witnesses, our complainants, to ensure that we're ready to move forward and ensure that we bring justice to the victims of crime.
They also need to be aware of, just because there's no mask mandate in place does not mean they don't need to follow social distancing and masking.
Well, that's right. Because of the governor's order, people who operate county facilities are prohibited from requiring any visitor or employee to wear a mask. That's not to say that you couldn't on your own decide to wear a mask if you feel more comfortable with your mask on. And certainly we would encourage everybody to continue to wear them if they feel comfortable doing so. We're certainly encouraging everybody to practice social distancing. But I need to make everybody aware that even though we may not be able to require people to wear masks at the courthouse proper or in county facilities, each judge has a right to issue his or her own order in their courtroom. So if a judge requires a participant or a party or a visitor to wear a mask entering the courtroom, then you have to comply with that.
What has been the overall effect on the local judicial system when it comes to the past year? I mean, a backlog of 35,000 cases, still, as you said, a tremendous number. But just because the pandemic has happened, the wheels of justice have still been turning. So what do you think the effect to Bexar County's judicial system has been?
Well, there's no question but that it has had a profound effect. Nobody could have predicted that we would have encountered such a huge pandemic for such a lengthy period of time. But I will tell you that everybody has continued to work. I know our employees, while they were working remotely, were still working. They were reviewing files, they were conferring with the defense bar, and then we participated in Zoom hearings. So the judges and everyone involved continue to try and move the wheels of justice, as you say. But again, that only goes so far. A lot of times there isn't a lot of motivation to resolve a case until the jury is out in the hallway, especially with some of the more serious cases. So it's not until we get into the courtroom and there's a real threat of trying a case in front of a jury of 12, for example, on a felony, will you see final resolution on a lot of these cases. So we're all excited to get back to the courtroom. We're all excited to bring justice to our victims of crime. I know the accused and his or her lawyer have been waiting to go to trial as well because they want some finality. And so we're all looking forward to it, and hopefully we can do it safely and efficiently.
I know you can't talk about specific cases, obviously, but there are a lot of high-profile cases that your office will handle in the next few months, especially once some of these restrictions are lifted. Is it hard? Does it make it harder because of this delay with the pandemic? Is it make your job harder? I mean, witnesses forget things. Witnesses, disappear. I mean, there are always things that happen in the course of a normal trial. This is anything but normal.
Well, of course, and I'm sure you've heard the adage, justice delayed is justice denied. So every day that we wait, every week that we delay a trial, we risk, as you say, witnesses or even complainants moving away, losing interest, just wanting to go on with their lives. So there is a real concern on our end that waiting further is going to jeopardize those cases, especially with the high-profile cases. You saw, for example, with the McCain trial, although we have gone through jury selection and we now have a jury seated, we haven't started our case in chief. But we look forward to doing that when we get back into the courtroom when the judge orders us to begin starting a jury trial. There are other cases, McDonald's, for example, Baby King Davila. There are other cases that we've all heard about for the last year and a half, 2 years that are waiting for disposition. And we certainly want to do everything we can to bring justice to the victims of crime.
Bexar County DA Joe Gonzalez, thanks for being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good night. We'll be right back.
United Airlines joining the group of businesses and others offering incentives for people to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The airline says vaccinated customers have the chance to win a year's worth of travel. From now through June 22nd, any member of United's Mileage Plus loyalty program can upload proof of vaccination on the company's website or through its app.
Yeah, 30 people will win round-trip flights for 2 anywhere in the world. 5 lucky people can win the grand prize of free travel for a whole year. Other companies giving free donuts, beer, gift cards to get more people vaccinated.
Another look outside with live cam this evening. Still lots of clouds out there. So many people I've been talking to are just kind of blown away. We've seen such cool weather for May and so much rain, Adam.
I'm loving it.
Right, and that's what happens when you have an active pattern. Then you get temperatures that are limited mostly to the 80s, and that's where we've been, even some days in the 70s. 82 degrees right now. We topped out in the mid 80s. Now we're down to 82. By 8 o'clock, upper 70s, 10 o'clock, mid 70s. Not a huge temperature drop tonight, and notice those 20% rain chances through the evening. We'll have some highly isolated showers. I think more than anything, some fog and drizzle developing. We're going to talk about that, how much rain fell where, and really compare it to the aquifer and its zones, and talk about future rain chances coming up.
A rough weekend for Bitcoin investors. The cryptocurrency lost 13% of its value on Sunday. It was trading at about $33,000 per coin Sunday morning. That's down significantly from its all-time high of more than $64,000 last month.
Now in classic Bitcoin form, hold that Bitcoin, though it had already picked up $2,000 by Sunday evening. Cryptocurrencies are known for their volatility and swift reaction to news cycles. Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted his continued support for the crypto market Saturday morning, which gave Bitcoin a boost. And as usual, most of the other cryptocurrencies have followed Bitcoin's price swings.
Oh, Elon and his crypto tweets.
Elon.
As of today, Texas has an official state gun. Governor Greg Abbott has signed a resolution giving that honor to the 1847 Colt Walker pistol, which was used during the Mexican-American War.
Yeah, according to the resolution, the pistol instrumental in helping America reclaim Texas. Texas is not the first state with an official firearm, though. 8 other states, including Alaska, Arizona, Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Utah, and West Virginia, all have state guns.
On the cryptocurrency front, a quick note. If you've got some questions and you find it all confusing, we've got something for that. KSAT Explains. That's right. We're going to explain it. KSAT Explains, all focused on cryptocurrency. It's a live stream with our new episode happening right after this newscast tomorrow evening.
All right. So we go from that to an explanation of what an active weather pattern we're in right now and how long it's going to last, Adam.
I was going to talk Dogecoin this whole time.
Really?
Oh,
Dogecoin? I don't know what it is.
It's
Ethereum,
Doge.
maybe?
Doge.
It's Doge. Yeah.
Ethereum's another one.
Oh, I'm harvesting it here in the weather center.
You are harvesting?
Isn't that what you do with it? You harvest that
Mine it.
stuff? You mine it. Oh, excuse me.
Tomorrow.
I'm an
7
expert.
o'clock. Write it down.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I basically told you everything I know about cryptocurrencies now, so I'm going to have to watch.
That was interesting. I saw her recording a lot of that. It's very interesting stuff. All right, let's get right to our rainfall totals here. And look at this, right over Bexar County, all the way up into Kendall County and even western Comal County. From Saturday all the way through today, you look at those readings and measurements, and these are actual rain gauges. Bernie, 2.38. Just on the south side of Camp Bullis, there's a rain gauge there, Rogers Ranch area, of over 2 inches, 2.37. Chavano Park, about 1 inch. Downtown San Antonio, 3.36 inches. Very impressive. Now let's take a look at the aquifer. These are the zones highlighted by this blue line here, particularly right here in northern Bexar County, where we have the recharge zone and the contributing zone, the drainage zone. That's where we really like to get the rain. And we'll go all the way back to last Tuesday. And look at this, right in the sweet spot here, basically along the county line, good rainfall. So the aquifer, I just looked at the chart, and it's up over 18 feet since April 26th. That's impressive. That's the definition of an active weather pattern, very simply put. The aquifer's up over 18 feet in less than a month. Still a bit active out there, especially 281 and points eastward, even parts of West Texas getting some much needed rainfall. Over the weekend, we had that little swirl that moved overhead, helping to give us a shower Saturday, then just tropical pop-up showers on Sunday. And we still have a bit of a ripple in the upper level flow, so there's still some activity here, particularly in East Texas and even up towards the Metroplex as well. But here around town, some spotty showers left over. Not a whole lot, but where it's coming down, it's coming down pretty hard. Just basically on the east side of Seguin here and stretching to the southeast, we had this band of heavy rainfall develop. No lightning detected within that so far, but these don't usually exhibit a lot of lightning, a few strikes here and there. And that's what we saw just north of Garden Ridge and closer to Canyon Lake. And this is all still moving through Canyon Lake. Same batch of rain we talked about last half hour. Canyon Lake and northern Comal County getting another soaking. So this is the kind of rain that's just gives you the wet roadways, but of course, happy lawns and happy gardens, happy pastures, happy ranches, much better situation. Then you get west of I-35, closer to Uvalde County, and even down in Dimmitt County, that's where we have some other activity that we're watching, but it's all fairly short-lived, all things considered. Tomorrow, a 30% chance, so some more of the same. Wednesday, a 20% chance, and then chances really fall off the end of the week on into the upcoming weekend. 82 now, dew point is 70. That southeasterly breeze is helping to keep our humidity high, and our dew points, by and large, are right around the 70-degree mark, even 75 in Corpus Christi. It's that time of year we check that dew point in Corpus Christi, and it's always way up there in the really muggy category. Pleasanton, you're 83 now. New Braunfels at 78. Still 90 in Del Rio. And tomorrow morning, get ready for some fog and drizzle. So yeah, a few stray showers tonight here and there. Nothing to worry about. Tomorrow morning, I think more than anything, dampness from fog and drizzle, 72 degrees. And then we get into the midday and afternoon. We'll have some of those pop-up downpours here and there mixed with sunshine. Tropical type of weather pattern. It's kind of like being in Florida where you just get those daily pop-up showers. We're going to see it again tomorrow and then even as we get into Wednesday, but I think the coverage is going to gradually become more limited. So they'll become more isolated in nature over the next couple of days. Then it's back to the 90-degree mark basically by Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
Hope you had a good weekend. It was a wet one. It is Monday, May 24th.
First at 5, a man dead after he was trying to wave down a Via bus this afternoon.
In a statement, Via tells us the bus was departing its stop. The victim tried chasing it down, tapping the side of the bus. The victim slipped while running, fell under the bus's rear tires, and died at the scene.
Undercover officer was actually keeping a surveillance on the house. It's right behind me here. Police say that's when that officer saw a vehicle leave the property he was watching. That vehicle pulled up next to him and showed him a gun. The officer was able to hit reverse on the vehicle and get out of the way when he heard shots being fired. Reinforcement quickly arrived. A total of 5 people were taken in without incident. Anyone connected to the shooting could be facing aggravated assault charges.
Arguing and yelling between neighbors, tears and sobbing. Emotions and tension running high in an apartment complex here on the east side after a man was shot and killed in the middle of the day.
Meantime, the San Antonio police chief condemning the policies in place that left an alleged shooter out on bond and a victim unprotected. Police say that a mother was shot to death in front of her 3 children. Their ages 2, 6, and 10.
A lot left to clean up this morning at North Star Mall after 2 people broke in overnight. A man and a minor are now facing charges. San Antonio police were called to the mall about 3:30 this morning after a security officer discovered the damage. They found at least a dozen businesses with destruction, including damaged registers and broken TVs and kiosks.
All right, let's take a look at the official reporting site, climate reporting site for San Antonio, which is the International Airport, and the precipitation. Month to date, over 4 inches. We're talking almost 4.5. So we're about an inch above average for May, and obviously not a whole lot left in the month, so we should end above average. Since January 1st, over 13 inches, and that's 1.62 inches above average for year-to-date precipitation, which takes into account the liquid equivalent of the snow that fell, by the way, in February. Morning fog and drizzle tomorrow at 72 degrees, then some isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms, and just like what we've been seeing. Garden variety, but they have some heavy rain mixed in with them, but nothing severe, nothing really threatening, just wet roadways. Happy lawns is the way to see it for some folks the next couple of days. Then we start to see things quiet down quite a bit Thursday, Friday. Just partly cloudy back near 90 degrees, which is pretty close to average for this time of year. The average high is 89 after all.
All right, thanks, Adam. And thanks for watching the news at 6.
See you back here on the Night Beat at 10.